Welcome to the history of Baltimore movie theaters from 1930 to 1939. 1930. The Real Art Theater reopens on January 31st. The Bridge Theater opens on March 14th. The Edgewood Theater opens on October 3rd. The Parkside Theater is reopened as the Cameo Theater on October 6th. The Aladdin Theater reopened as the New Queen Theater. The New Preston Theater became the Preston Theater. The Pictorial Theater opens and became the Aldine Theater later in 1930. 1931. The Little Theater became the Europa Theater on September 7th. The Glen Theater in Glen Burnie opens. The Crown Theater became the Imperial Theater. 1932. The world premiere of Tarzan the Ape Man was held at the Stanley Theater on March 11th. The Harlem Theater opens on October 7th for Afro-Americans. The Plaza Theater at 404 East Baltimore opens. 1933. The Europa Theater became the Little Theater again on March 17th. The Avon Theater is opened by Durkee Theaters on September 30th. The Rex Theater opens on October 20th. The Gwynn Theater opens on November 27th. The New Queen Theater became the Booker T Theater for Afro-Americans. The Tacoma Theater became the Nemo Theater. 1934. The Diana Theater opens on April 18th. The New Theater in Reisterstown on October 14th. The Pikes Theater in Pikesville opens. The Imperial Theater became the Roy Theater. The Idle Hour Theater closes. 1935. The Ambassador Theater is opened by Durkee Theaters on September 18th. The Superba Theater opens. 1936. The Lord Calvert Theater opens on August 28th. The Old Dixie Theater reopened as the Europa Theater on October 1st. The Majestic is renamed the Casino Theater on December 25th. The Old Rainbow Theater is reopened on December 25th as the Lenox Theater for Afro-Americans. The Hollywood Theater in Arbutus opens. 1937. The Northway Theater in Parkville is opened by Durkee Theaters on September 19th. The Europa Theater closes on September 30th. The Earl Theater opens on November 17th. The Carroll Theater in Westminster opens on November 25th. The Old Palace reopens as the Esquire Theatre and closed later in the year and gutted for a parking garage. 1938. The Old Wizard Theatre reopens on July 21 as the Lexway Theatre. The Radio Theatre is opened on August 20 for Afro-Americans. The Linden Theatre opens on September 17. The Shands Theatre became the Morgan Theatre. The Roy Theatre became the Pick Theatres. The Strand Theatre in Dundalk opens. The Booker T Theatre closes. 1939. The Centre Theatre opens on February 2nd. The Westway Theatre opens on April 22nd. The Governor Ritchie Open Air Theatre in Glen Burnie is opened by E. M. Lowe's on May 14 as the first drive-in for the Baltimore area. The Old Star Theatre reopens for Afro-Americans as the Rio Theatre on May 14. The Monroe Theatre opens on July 6. The Senator Theatre is opened by Durkee Theatres on October 5. The Times Theatre opens on October 6, which became the Charles Theatre in the future. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.